Empower yourself to become your best vision because every day can be your best. You are in charge and you decide how great your life can be. So grow and contribute for a better today and tomorrow.
I am pleased to welcome today Astrid Sokman, who is a product manager in the division management of WK Business Media. And WK is an organization who is focusing on developing people and companies in Switzerland. And in the next half hour, Astrid will unveil 7 secrets of empowered women. And you will find out more about the opportunities for the women of today and tomorrow. And you will leave this talk with a compelling list of effective and applicable tools for your own life. Astrid, would you like to say a few words about yourself?
Hello, first of all, thank you, dear Ulrike, for this chance to be a part of something so moving, especially for us women. For my few words, I completed my master's degree in psychology at the University of Basel. And now I work as a product manager, as you said. And we offer a wide range of training courses. And the 3 main areas are events, online products, and print products. So here is the experience which I have for, I think this empower females is really important. And I'm happy and glad to be here in this talk today.
Thank you very much, Astrid. So this talk is a little bit different than our other ones because we have spoken before about these 7 secrets, these 7 tips which you will give today. And so I know them, but I don't know what's exactly in them. So I will ask you question by question to go through these 7 tools which people can apply. The first one is about believing in yourself. And even though that this is something we speak about a lot and we have addressed also quite often already in this talk, it stays something that is very difficult to achieve. It is one of the most difficult things of all. And I would like to hear, what is your point of view about believing in yourself?
I think everything starts with believing in yourself, but what does believing in yourself mean? I have personally noticed that we women often tend to be very self-critical of ourselves. So here, my practical tip would be self-love. Learn to love yourself as you really are and trust in yourself and in your abilities. I often practice the mantra, I do enough, I have enough, I am enough. And I think you will feel better after a while, believe me.
Okay, let me go a little bit more into detail of this. Because if you do this mantra, I do enough, I have enough, and I am enough, you said. How do you convince yourself about this? Because sometimes you say it to yourself, but is it something where you have a little voice popping up saying, oh, yeah, but it's not true? How is it happening for you?
I think it's all about the training. Of course, you have these words popping up, oh no, I can't, or I'm not good enough, or it's all about training. For me, I have done it before in the yoga courses, of course. And for me, it's all about the training. I do it every evening, maybe 10 minutes about self-love yoga. And then I set this mantra to me. And in the first times, like it's always like the training, okay, look in the mirror and smile. First of all, you would like, okay, to say, no, that's not easy. I can laugh about me, but I can't believe it. And if you train it, I think it's the feeling that you get after it and you will feel really better. So it's my, my own experience that I have.
Cool experience, which means that you combine mindset or thoughts together with a body experience, if I understand well. Is that how it works for you?
That's how it works for me, yes, of course.
Okay, yeah, that's a strong enabler of embedding thoughts in yourself if you also take your body with you. That's a very good point. So you do it like sports. You're training it like a muscle every day. And this is how you embed this thought, if I understand well. Okay, very good. The second point is about take your time and go with your own pace. What do you mean by that?
I mean about that it means always do this, do that, be like this, and preferably immediately. So we have a lot of pressure in this world, a lot of stress, and it's a lot of circumstances that don't give us a lot of time to think and feel good, maybe because we have a lot of stress and we have a lot of things that we have to take control of it. So I think gain the control of your life and become the boss of it. And here I say the practical tip is take a deep breath and allow yourself to do the things in life at your own pace, even if sometimes circumstances want to push you into something else. That it's really important. I know it's not easy every time, but I think when you just for a few seconds take a deep breath, maybe you have this breath trainings, I don't know, but that's also good. And then you get more focused and aware of the situation.
How do you apply this concretely on a normal day? Can you give us an example?
On a normal day, so you are busy at work and the cell phone is ringing all the time. And then comes some other person in your room and say, hey, I need this project get finished until then and then, just in an hour. And then you have, oh, I have lunch and I have to eat. And all around you is such a stress. And you think, oh, 24 hours, no way that I can finish all this. So sometimes I just sit in my chair and say, okay, take a deep breath. What's my priority for today? And then I do this and make a range and say, okay, this is what I have to do. And what is my ranking about it? And then I do this.
I recently read an article about the relativity of time. I found this really interesting because it said that obviously time is relative. When you're waiting in the cold in a bus stop, 2 minutes are eternally long. They'll never end. And if you do something that you like or you're with someone you love, for example, and you know, oh, and I have 2 minutes left, 2 minutes pass by like 2 seconds. And this article said that's in your head. How long is time actually? And most people, as we tell ourselves all day long, I have no time, I have no time, I'm so busy, means that actually you become the victim of time and you have no time at the end. Whereas if you say, I am making my time, I can decide on this, which sounds quite awkward, yeah?
But you say that in a positive way. I think you adapt what you say. So if you say, I have no time, then your mind or your brain is hearing, okay, I have no time, and you feel stressed. That's always like the same problem. And if you say, okay, I make me the time, or I get more time for me, so what's my priority? You put it in another situation and think that's better than thinking and stressing your body and your mind the whole day.
Yeah, exactly. It's another attitude which you can have here. It comes a little bit back to also the first point, which is also about attitude and about how you see things, how you evaluate them for yourself, and how you apply them finally. Now, the third thing that you shared with me before is, and I can only read what you shared with me before because I don't know what's in it. It is, what would you like to have? Preferably all in one. So this sounds like really an appealing concept, getting it all in one. Can you tell us what that means and how this translates to the real life?
Yes, of course. Here, I mean, every woman should feel like a superwoman. We take on so many roles and overcome daily challenges all over again. You are a wife, you are a mother, a self-care provider, and a boss, and somehow you do all these roles at the same time in parallel and crisscross. Wow, what a performance, I would say. And here I would say like a practice tip is in the morning, look in the mirror and say to yourself, I'm proud of who I am and all what I perform. Is also, I think we have, like before I said, all the stress, all the pressure, all the yes, I think the concerns that we aren't good enough, and it's most important that we don't have to be all in one for someone else. We have to be the best version for ourselves, and don't feel less important or worth because the world is saying to you, you have to be like this, you have to do that, and preferably all in one and for now. And that's the best thing you can choose for yourself.
This is something which many women struggle with, is this multiple tasking and being in so many different roles. And there is a point to it that there's a real trap into this, actually, because women are very often perfectionists, and we set our level of expectations to an extremely high level. Very often we want to be at 100%, and maybe for some other people this looks like even 150%, and then we cannot make it, because we cannot be this Wonder Woman or this Power Woman in everything, every single day, in every single minute, because this is the pressure which we often put on ourselves. How do you see that? How do you what would you say is a right attitude or a right approach to find a balance here that is a healthy balance, but at the same time giving us the possibility to having it all?
My first thought is about this: enjoy the imperfections. I think we live in a learning culture, not like we are searching for what is not good and what is not right and just faults. We have to accept it. And I think if you are embarrassing all this experience and saying to yourself, it's cool, okay, I can do this, and think it's also okay when I don't get it at this time and I don't get it all around for anyone, maybe it's the better way for you, and it has all his reasons why.
Thank you for that. The next point is about fake it till you make it. Something that we have heard from Amy Cuddy, for example, who did this famous TED Talk about this topic. And it's a very controversial one. Some are fan of this and some are not at all a fan of this. Can you let us know what you think about it, and how is this something that we can really use to our advantage?
I see it like fake it and you will become it. So it's from the point of the psychology side. I think the point is that someone first pretends only to gain positive experiences, and from these positive experiences, someone draws courage and self-confidence in order to develop the newly acquired ability. So here the practical tip is, you want to feel self-confident, for example, then behave self-confident and act like this, then you become it really. And maybe you have to dress accordingly, like dress to impress or smile and appear so, and then start with the small things and be amazed how good it goes.
It's an approach which I did also myself quite a lot. And even if I am a big fan of developing authenticity, of being who you truly are, and so on, so which seems to be like the opposite. But I know as well that especially what you do physically and with your posture and with your body makes a difference and has a direct influence in how you feel, because our physical posture is related to how we feel. And people can simply try that out when you're sitting in a meeting where you feel like being less competent than the other people, or where you feel like, oh, there are people in the room who do not appreciate what I'm doing, or I know that they think I'm not competent, for example. Then you might have tendency to sit there in a way that makes you shrink, or you cross your legs, your arms, you make yourself small, you get into these very protective positions. And this is a moment where I also think that fake it till you make it makes a huge difference, because you can just try to put yourself into the opposite position, as if you felt really strong. You put yourself into like a power pose where you open your arms, where you stretch your back, where you raise your head, and where you have this other position, and you will immediately feel differently. So it makes a difference. And it's sometimes so hard to control our mind, but it's much easier to control our body, at least when it comes to these relatively simple postures. Do you mean that by that as well? Is this something which you would include here?
Yes, of course. I'm thinking about a sentence that I lately heard about. It's also like when you put yourself in the negative thoughts and you think, okay, I'm less worth or less competent about something, then you shrink. And some psychologist said once, when he has sweaty hands, he always looked at them and said, okay, that's fear, but fear is the door to more. And I think that's a really nice sentence, because when you are nervous or you feel less competent, don't put it in this like package, oh, I'm not good enough or something like that. Think about positive and say, okay, I can do it better. I learn about and I gain a positive experience. And who knows?
Fear is one of these things that people don't like. However, it's probably our biggest signal that we get that there's an opportunity to learn. Because obviously you fear when something new is popping up, when there is something you're uncomfortable with, and that means you're not familiar with it, and that means you can learn here. So taking anxiety and fear as a clear signal for growth, and as a clear signal, yeah, now you go ahead, instead of, now I have to step back. This is a huge mindset shift that brings us into our power, and is a very empowering thing. Okay, so now we come to point number 5. And here I'm really curious because I have no clue what you're speaking about here. You say, it's called my personal ABC model. What is ABC standing for?
ABC, it's from the theory from Elias, it's a psychologist, and simply translated, this means A is for the situation, as an activating event, B is for the thoughts, so the belief, and C is for the feelings, like the consequences. I can make an example, like A is the event, you come to work and get hit with the fact that the project was not implemented as requested. So B, your thoughts, could be, for example, first, I can never get it right. Second, I always do everything wrong. So C, the consequences, your feelings and actions are you feel inferior and depressed and start a day in a really bad mood. So here, my practical tip is you see how thoughts affect your feelings, how we think about some things. Something affects how we feel and we behave. So train your mind in a positive way and react positive to the circumstances, and so you get the control and you will feel better, heal also.
The B here seems to me the crucial bit, because obviously the A, what is happening, it's happening. Okay, that's it. We often cannot change or influence what is happening. It just comes up. And then the B is the one where we are often not aware of. We are not aware of our beliefs. We are not aware of what's coming up into our minds. And we just react directly without having realized the step in between, which is the B. So the consequences, we see them. We see the A and we see the C quite easily. But I think the tricky bit is the B, because the B has the influence on the consequences, obviously the belief.
Yes.
How would you say, do you use a technique or a little trick or anything to better observe and be a bit more aware of what's happening in B with the beliefs?
I think here is also, I think about like what can I change and what I can have control about. So the situation is out of my control. The situation is here. So I can control or let my reaction to it. So my reaction is, okay, what am I thinking about it? And I think that is also about training. So if I have a reaction like, okay, I'm angry now, and I react only about it and don't think about it, it's the problem. Okay, maybe I need some more rest before, or thinking or calming down before I react. And I am not sure how to react to a situation. I always take some distance to it and say to me, okay, is it really, really the best thing that I react now? Or have I some time to think about it and then maybe take another thought about the situation or the consequence, which I can better control or get to another point.
Mm-hmm. This ties in with your second point, which you had when you said take your time and go with your own pace. It's about allowing actually this kind of break.
Yes, yes, of course.
Where we take a breath and step back and then take action, not just doing it in a rush and and becoming by this a little bit victim of the circumstances which are happening to us, which is the A of the ABC model, if I understood well.
Perfect.
I understood it. Great. Okay. So number 6 is you say, let the positive mood speak for itself. Can you explain how you leverage this and what it means?
Yes, of course. Here is there is an old saying. I wrote it down. It's like, watch your thoughts because they become words. Watch your words because they become actions. Watch your actions because they become habits. Watch your habits because they become your character. Watch your character because it becomes your destiny. You are what you think you are because what you think you attract in your life. That's a simple universal formula, the law of attraction. Because of that, let the positive mood speak for itself and manage your own life path. Here, my practical tip is do more of what makes you happy, plan some alone time, get some rest, and feel relaxed from the inside out.
Mm-hmm. So planning in time for yourself would be something which makes this possible. I like this approach because it sounds always a little bit like a luxury thing, like, oh, but I don't have that time. I'm a mother, I'm a leader, I have I don't know how many other roles where we engage in, and I can't do this. I think it's a question of priorities finally.
Mm-hmm.
If we allow ourselves to put our focus on the right things, or on the things that make us be in the positive mood and really enjoy that. Would you say that this is a little bit to, in the ideal case, to getting into what we say the flow? Is it in this direction?
I think so. And it's also like for myself, tell always it's like a triangle. You have the triangle of your social environment, it's the one point, and you have the partnership, and you have yourself. And yourself, we always forget ourselves the most of the time. We're looking for, oh, okay, how are my friends? How are my family? Or how is my man? Or somehow the job, something like that. But we always forget ourselves. And after a while, we recognize, okay, I feel so stressed. Why? I am having enough time with my family. I'm having enough time with my employees at the job and something like that. But we forget ourselves. And I think it's always also important that you ask yourself, okay, what I would like to do, what makes me fun, or for what I like to relax or do more of it.
Mm. And this is actually the basis somehow for self-empowerment, to allow ourselves to do this without feeling guilt.
Yes.
That's, I think, a big point, because many women feel guilty when they do not care about the other sides of the triangle. This is why we do this all the time. And when we just care about our own little side of the triangle and we allow ourselves to do this. And I think what is important to understand is that it's not a luxury. It's not like selfish to do this. You can only give to the other sides of the triangle, to your relationships, whatever it is, private or professional, and at work, if you yourself are in a good shape. How can you give when you have nothing to give anymore? So seeing it from that side, I think, helps us maybe to feel less guilty about doing this, because it brings us again into this why we're doing all of that.
And you can put it in the middle. So then you have the triangle, and so self-empowerment is in the middle of all it. And so I think it finishes good.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, then we come to the last point, and this is, you said it's learn from both sides. So which sides do you speak about here, and what are these learnings?
So we close the circle with the beginning. So listen to yourself and believe in yourself, because both sides bring their good. For example, criticism can lead us to grow new abilities because you take the chance and do the best of it. It is this perspective, and you choose how to see it. Our mindset is a powerful tool, and we can train our brain to work the way we want it to. So let's start. Use this great tool. Here, my practical tip: stop every now and then during the day and ask yourself, how do I feel right now? You will see, you will become more aware and focused. Your feelings, beliefs, and behavior gonna change for a better. Your life is gonna change for better.
Yeah. So when I look at your 7 tips, there's like a red thread throughout of them. And this is because this is coming in several times, and it's very often about hold on, make a break, and take the time for yourself, the time that is needed to think about yourself, and the time that is needed to see things from a meta position, from seeing it a little bit more from the outside instead of having your head fully in it and drowning with everything that is dumped on you in a certain way. I think this is for me. If I had to take away here one major learning and one thing that comes out of all 7 tools which you mentioned here, then it's this one, I think. And what you said in the beginning, and this is helpful because it is often difficult to do this stepping out thing, which is that you do something with your body at the same time. And the easiest thing is obviously go into a corner, leave the room, take a deep breath, and and shut down a little bit, or taking, as you said, 10 minutes like you do it every day, and combine this, for example, with a yoga session or doing a true meditation where you really focus on something specific. This does wonder. I have seen that with myself, and I see it with many clients who are doing this regularly, and you evolve over time and you get much more inner calmness and much more inner focus. And this brings you back to the core. And this is how you can then suddenly bring a lot of power out of yourself, but in a much more, how to say, serene way, not in the stressed way, how we try to do this oftentimes. Yeah, we are already coming to the very end. Wow. This was one of these talks where I had a feeling we were rushing through and it was really quick. But if you, I will not repeat now the 7 tips again because there was a lot in it. But if you would have to just one single empowering thought that you would like to leave our audience with today, what would that be?
I think it would be empower yourself to become your best vision, because every day can be your best. You are in charge and you decide how great your life can be. So grow and contribute for a better today and tomorrow.
Thank you so much for watching this talk. If you haven't subscribed yet, click here, follow us on Instagram, or become active yourself in our LinkedIn group. I am very much looking forward to having you on board. You are important, and together we can make a difference. See you next time.